Okay, welcome to part 9, Lights, Camera, Action. To render out the animated soccer ball, you will need to go back to the Solaris environment and set up a second shot. You will begin by branching off new LOP nodes from the background geometry, and then adjust the lights and cameras to suit the bouncing animation. So to start, what we want to do is just go into the soccer ball animation here, and this has all the animation we need, although the up and down motion in is actually coming from above. So we need to make sure that we have this right. So let's press N, and we're going to go Modify, Extract. And what this will do is an object merge that essentially locks all of that stuff down. So it takes into account both the transformations at the object level and what's going on at the geometry level and merges it into this. So if we right click on here and we go USD export, then this will be a nice representation of the final project. So we're going to call this ball geo. Oh, let's make sure that G is small. This is the same name we had before. And we also need the path to be /geo/. Perfect. Now if we go to the Export tab, we want to do the frame range of 1 to 120. And we want to change the name of this to put this into a USD directory. And we're going to call it soccer ball Animate. Okay, and we are going to save to disk. Okay, that does that fairly quickly. So now we're going to move back to the Solaris desktop, and right now we need to click on here and go to Stage. There's the soccer ball right there that we had already, and you see that it's soccerball_geo. And that's important. So this is the still one that doesn't have any animation to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Tab Sublayer, and we're going to branch that off from this light mixer right here. Set the display flag, and there's the existing soccer ball. And what we want to do is we're going to click on this file. We're going to go /hip USD soccer ball anim, bring that in. And what happens now is that there actually is animation in here, but you'll notice, let's make sure we're not locked into the camera. So we've got some animation, but that animation is coming like this. So what we want to do is, okay, so we're going to go, let's go back to this point here. So we're going to use this to select that primitive. And we're going to again go Tab Transform. And what that allows us to do is rotate it and move it forward. And what we can do is, if we want to, look through camera 1. So we're going to do this, and it seems like everything's, it's up high. So one of the things is we've got to go up here. And we're going to take that match size, and we're going to take that out. We need that for the first shot, so we're going to put that down here with that transform. So if we were to set that up, it's still looking right, but if we go over to here, it's on the ground. So let's zoom out again. And let's go, where is it here? And make sure. There we go. And if we go back to camera 1, we can sort of frame that, but we've got the ball coming in from the side and going from there. And once we have that working, what we can do now is we can add a tab camera edit node. So we're putting that here, and what that allows us to do is we can take the camera that we have here, so that camera 1, and drag that over to here, set the display flag, and now we can use this tool to just move and sort of tumble around until we get a better view of the animation. So we can go, oh, there, it starts there, so maybe we want it to go there, and we want it to land in front of us there. Okay, perfect. So we're still using camera 1, but we've put an edit node on it so that it's doing what we need for this particular shot. So that's perfect. Now we also may want to, let's go in here and turn on Karma XPU. And the question is, are the lights doing what they want, what we want here? Is this the look that we want? And, so we can, again, use like a tab light mixer. And we can bring in that. This is for an alternative view. And we can, again, take our 3 lights. And this time, we can actually do transforms on them. And so if we pick, for instance, a point light here, we can use the same tools that we used before to say, I want to click here and I want to shift click here and get that, or shift click here. Or I want this point light, I want to shift click there and shift click there. And that shortens that shadow. So we've got possibilities there. We can also go to the slider tab here and, say, okay, what's that light doing? Maybe the dome light can go down a little bit. Or maybe this point light needs to go up a little bit more and get sort of the lighting that we want. So you've got the ability to take the existing lights you had before. None of this changes what's going on in this part. And as a matter of fact, we can put a null node down there if we want. And we'll just call this shot 1. And here we are working on shot 2. So, and in addition to this, like, we can even look at attributes here. So the dome light, if we wanted to, we could go 0.2 and really darken that a little bit, make that a little moodier. Maybe that one we're going to go 3,000, and maybe this one we're going to go 500. So we can make those adjustments here in this node, and none of that affects. If I go display over here, that original shot we had is still there. So it gives us both those options as we're making our way through this. Now, we want to render this one to disk, so we're going to add some extra nodes into here. So we're going to go Karma, and we're going to put a Karma node down, plug it into there, and get the Karma settings node here. And we got to make sure we're using XPU. And on the Image Output Filters tab, we want to use the Optics Denoiser. And then we can change this to shot 2, because we have the other shot over there. On this node, we want to set a valid a frame range of 1 to 120, and that's going to do the job. We need to go back to the Karma settings, and we're going to change this to, we're going to scroll up, and we're going to change that. $hip render. And then we're going to add in a folder called Anim. And then we're going to put in soccerball. And then we're going to go $F, which is frames, and 2 means a padding of 2. And we've got 2 colons in there instead of L's, so we probably want to get rid of those. Let's go with L's. And there we go. And once we've got that in place, so that's the name its XPU, we go back to this node, we're going to animate an animation. We can now render this out in animation. So let's save our work for now. And we're going to go render to disk. And this will bring up this little panel, which will go through and chug through the various frames and render to disk. And what we'll do right now is we'll pause, come back when it's all finished, and take a look at the results. So, see you in a second. Okay, now that that's ready, let's go render, mplay, load disk files. We go into the render directory, anim, and there is our animation. So now we can see the bouncing ball animation of the soccer ball, which is a culmination of the work we've done so far. So we were able to set up the rig, animate the ball, and then bring that into Solaris and swap out the still version of the ball with this animated version. So in the next lesson, what we'd like to do is take this same concept, but instead of doing a bouncing ball that you animate by hand, we're going to do a simulation of a bunch of soccer balls. And you can see how that works. Okay, see you then.